Hello everyone, this is our dear from Advanced Mechanics and welcome to another episode of Know Your Car. So in this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about a sensor on your car's engine that measures the pressure inside your engine's intake manifold to determine the engine load. So as always, without any waste of time, let's get into the video. So the sensor I'm going to be talking about today is called the Manifold Absolute Pressure Sensor, or the MAP sensor if you may like. The MAP sensor measures the pressure inside your engine's intake manifold to determine the engine's load. It sends information to the electronic control unit of your car, which uses this information to adjust the air-to-fuel ratio and the ignition timing. The MAP sensor contains a diaphragm that flexes in response to changes in pressure. This movement of the diaphragm changes the resistance, which alters the voltage signal sent to the electronic control unit of your car. The electronic control unit, or ECU, uses this information to calculate how much air is entering the engine and adjusts the air-to-fuel ratio and the ignition timing. For example, if your engine is at idle, there is higher vacuum and low pressure inside the intake manifold. The MAP sensor sends a low voltage signal to the ECU. The ECU then tells the injectors to inject less fuel in the engine. Under acceleration, where there is increased pressure inside the intake manifold, the MAP sensor sends high voltage to the electronic control unit of your car. The ECU then signals injectors to inject more fuel inside the engine to match the increased air intake. The MAP sensor works with other sensors like the mass airflow sensor, oxygen sensor, intake air temperature sensor, and the engine speed sensor to correctly monitor and adjust the air-to-fuel ratio and the ignition timing. The MAP sensor is located on or around the intake manifold, often just behind the throttle body. Now you know how the MAP sensor works. What are some of the problems that can characterize a failing MAP sensor? Because the MAP sensor works just like the mass airflow sensor, a failing MAP sensor will present just like a failing mass airflow sensor. So your car may experience things like rough idling, misfiring, poor acceleration, poor fuel economy, your engine may stall at some points, and a poor MAP sensor can make an engine check light to illuminate on your dashboard. All these problems can be brought about because the MAP sensor is sending wrong signals to the ECU, which can lead to improper air-fuel ratio.